was tackling these three things.
Under his model, we still had deficiency in human
I'm not saying he was perfect.
We still had deficiency.
I'm not saying he was perfect. But look, he was training health personnel. My own regional hospital. People were sent out even before the hospital could finish. People were being trained to come and man the hospital when it's finished. You're not waiting to build the hospital before you train people. So
you do the two at the same time.
No, exactly. Because training, if you build the hospitals and you don't have the personnel, it will stand there and waste. And I have seen hospitals built in communities. You go there, there's no doctor. You go there, there's no nurse. Yet you have very expensive equipment in those hospitals. So why don't we assess the gaps? In some of the districts or whatever you are going to build, there might be a facility there with some equipment that can take care of the basic needs of the people. So that might not be an urgent need now, but they may need it tomorrow. And that's my argument. That look, let's get the gap. First, tell us, how many specialists are you training to come among the 111 hospitals? You haven't talked about health personnel. You haven't talked about equipment. Though sometimes, depending on the who is the agreement, who is, yes, some may come with equipment. But especially the health personnel aspect, if we are not sure and you build such expensive hospital, trust me, you have community health nurses, you have the low cadre of health being there.
Right. So
and that will not help this country.
You agree with Dr. Safon that, I mean, we can do the two at the same time, having the hospitals and also training the personnel?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you don't finish one and then you're not looking for, but their focus on the health infrastructure is where my problem is. Okay. Look, you don't build any health system based on health infrastructure alone. And we are talking about universal health care. It's not, universal health care is not just about building hospitals too. It's a whole lot, from preventive to curative to rehabilitative. This government has not told me one thing that they are doing to address the geriatric, because if our life expectancy is increasing, there are so many old people and all of us will grow to be old.
I mean, that's the passion I have for
you understand? Tell me.
Geriatric care is one big problem for us in this
country. So why is the president not talking?
We have less than 10 doctors.
Is it because he's the president?
For geriatric care.
Is it because he's the president? He falls within the aged category. If I were him, I'll be taking steps to build something for the aged, so that when we all grow old, then we are secured. He's not talking about that. He's talking about Agenda 111. And let me land before he comes. Look, they will say I'm a politician talking. But this Agenda 111, delivering them within the same period,
yes,
is not to the benefit of Ghanaians. It is to the benefit of the MPP party.
You just said that we need these hospitals.
I'm saying,
you've acknowledged.
Listen to me. Let me land before
hold on. I'll let you land, but just hold on. You've acknowledged that we need a hospital.
Yes.
You've acknowledged that we can have the hospitals and at the same time train the personnel.
Yes.
And then you come back to say that then this is not going to benefit the country.
That's what I'm saying. Let me land before you ask me this.
Okay.
I'm saying,
yes,
building 111 hospitals.
Yes.
As a lump sum at a go.
Yes.
Is not to benefit Ghanaians, but it is to benefit the MPP party.
How is that going to benefit the
MPP
party?
We're all in this country.
Yes. Yes.
And we know, we just finished looking at Sputnik contract.
Yes.
There's a reason why they are lumping all of them and saying that we'll build them within 1 year. I mean, all of them.
Yes.
Because it goes with some benefits.
What benefit?
To them.
What benefit?
Oh. But at the end of this, why are you asking me as if we are not in this country? I mean, they will be depending on the contract.
The hospital is not going to be an MPP hospital.
Oh, Look, I'm talking as a politician, and let me learn.
That's the issue here.
Yes.
Let's talk.
No, but what
to have that
building 111 hospitals at a go, is it not politics?
Is it not possible?
I'm saying.
No, is it not possible?
Underline my word.
Yes.
At a go, the same time. It is possible.
Okay.
It is possible. But the way they're doing it, I'm saying that the benefit is not just, they're not looking at Ghana as a whole. This government is looking at what it gets from the agenda 111. That's going to say why. Is President Nana Akufo-Addo the only president for Ghana? Okay. You're going to say that after you, other presidents will not come. So let me do all the district hospitals. Okay. Whether I can or I cannot. Let me award all the contracts.
Let me move to
abandon them whether I finish or not. Okay. So that when another president comes tomorrow, you come and face abandoned facilities.
When we speak as politicians, we make ourselves laughing stock to the other people who are not politicians. You are sitting and saying that Akufo-Addo is doing all this 111 hospital because they want to put together contracts, and then you are talking about maybe taking the money or something. When this country, and then he's so
exactly I said, he's not taking the money or something.
Talk about just the money.
I'm talking about the benefits.
You connected it to the Sputnik thing, and that is the deduction I'm making.
You're making.
And I'm saying that, and he went on to say he's not the only president. Other people will come, so he should leave some for other people. When this country, when Muhammad launched, he knew he was going. He launched a project called E-Block, 123 schools. It's not 101. It's not 111, 123. What informed that? Is it because the government wanted to put the contract together, give it to NEC people before they leave the scene? If the president in power thinks that this is what I want to do, and if you are given a mandate and comes to Parliament says, go ahead and do it. You can't sit there and say that because they want to benefit the party. The school, even though eventually not all the schools were built, the few ones which were have done, and then MPP came to complete them. I didn't know about the benefiting Ghanaians. Sometimes we could make ourselves laughing stock to the public.
The issues raised by Dr. Safon, and he's not the only one who's actually raised that issue. Speaking to some other medical doctors too. Yeah. Fine, they agree that we need these hospitals. Yeah. But their biggest concern, just as expressed by Dr. Safon, is that even the ones that we have,
you see, let me tell you,
we are not even running it
in the matter of governance.
Yes.
In the matter of governance, there are so many things that inform government decision.
Okay.
You see, access is very important.
Yes.
I feel bastardized if today, in the 21st century, 2021, 101 districts of Ghana doesn't have district hospitals. And what are we talking about?
Access is very important, but access becomes weak when people move in there and there's no health personnel to take care of them.
Let me tell you something.
So what's the essence?
There's no health facility today. People go in and they don't get medical care, they come back.
But it's very troubling. I get that though, but the troubling aspect is that when you have one doctor taking care of 45,000 patients, that is worrying.
That is a problem which was not created today. Today, look, he was talking about your mama and then whatever. He increased employment into the public health sector. Nurses were not being employed, doctors were not being employed. So within that 5 years, if we have been consistent, like MPP employing people into the health sector, if they have been consistent, wouldn't we have reduced that deficit? He claimed that he was but they failed in their time. They freeze employment. They were not employing people in the public sector and go to the health sector. So if you say you cared, then why do that? There was no need for medical professionals in the health delivery system. It was our system. I don't know what system was there.
So we have that deficiency.
So we are. Let me tell you. So we have not stopped training of medical professionals. Training of medical professionals is ongoing. There are programs also to open more. And the president said we are going to invest also in medical training. So the point of the matter is that when I'm a politician, I go to my community, they are crying to me for a medical center. When the president moves around, the people are asking for a medical center. The need of the Ghanaians is not only the need in Accra and the capital cities. The rural community, they will do with having a hospital that normally when they go there and they have malaria. Because why is that somebody from Mekumfi, let's say Asaman, should get malaria and travel all the way to Makasim or to Sopon to be treated? About 20 or 30 kilometer for the person to be treated. So when they confide their own medical, this way, we refer to other places. They go to Sikwan, they go to Sopon, they go to Afam. Why can't we have it? And they confide just about 2 hours drive from Accra. So if the community from 2 hours drive from Accra is suffering this way, how about those communities far away? So for the fact that we have over 100 districts in Ghana that don't have district, I see it as an indictment on us. And every effort by any person, whether it's an NPP administration or Mahama administration, to correct that should be supported.
Some people don't actually, I use the word trust here. The government. Just hold on. In completing this 101 hospitals, because of history. The chief that represented Asante yesterday talked about the Formina hospital that's not completed. That's right by us at GBC, the La General Hospital. Yeah. Something is yet to actually start on that property. These are what some people are looking at. These are evidence that is casting doubt on the 111 projects or hospitals that the government wants to contract, because history tells us that the government have made similar promises and have not been able to do it.
Oh, no, see, the point of the matter is that globally, governments are not trusted by their people. And then we also, unfortunately, we have the
your country.
In the environment. Yeah. In the environment, we have the track record. Government not being able to complete its project. I just gave you an example of the 123 E-block, E-classrooms or whatever, that was launched one day by the then President Mahama. And so the people are genuinely, I mean, those are genuine expressions by the people. All right. But yesterday, the President kept insisting that this is a well-thought-through program. And
likewise, the Lagino Hospital is a well-thought-through program. Likewise, like the Lagino Hospital.
Yeah, so we need to go and ask the question, where was the funding, where is the money? Because most of the hospital, I think most of the things we went for the facility, and the money is there. You understand? And so you journalists have to do that and help us.
But the point, no funding, why put down the hospital and say that we're going to put down a new one? If there's no
I'm saying that before you do that, you have taken the money. The money is there. The money is there. I didn't prepare myself to answer that question for you, so I won't be able to go in there. But I'm saying that this is a program of government, and government has decided to do this. Government will find the money to do it. The time period is 18 months, not 3 years to say. So if within 18 months we are not completed, we are not there, questions will be asked on the presidency, on the government. You understand? And he shouldn't worry. By 18 months, we are even getting closer to elections. So if we are not delivered, it will give them a better message. But I'm saying, let's not be pessimistic. As a Ghanaian, I'm very happy, especially as a beneficiary of this project, that the government is going to construct a district hospital in my constituency, in my district, for my people, so that we don't transport people from here, there, and then the loss of life and all the things that we have. The last time when some people were taken away, they had an accident and people died, including the sick person. They all died. I mean, why should we have that? If the hospital is near in a community, they can just get there and all these things will be prevented. So first of all, let me come in.
Yes.
The president said that the program also employ about 20,000 new medical personnel into the system. What it means is that over the time, I'm sure that there will be program to train more people, take more nurses, more other medical staff into the system. And also, there's also a 4 million for equipment and accommodation for the hospitals. So these are not going to be just construction. It talks about construction. It's not that the structure. We are constructing, we are equipping, we are providing manpower and everything to man these hospitals. when somebody comes with an idea, let's rally around the idea, see how best we can put the idea to become a workable thing for the community. Not to pull it this way.
Okay.
To suggest that, okay, this MPP, they are putting them together because Sputnik and whatever. That's not the way to go about and build a community.
All right. I'll just move to Dr. on Zoom, and now that will be his final take, and then we can wrap up. Doc, the whole concept of preventive care and also putting up health facilities in case of certain emergencies, where should that focus should be matched as a country, having our preventive care aspect, championing it, and also the concept of having infrastructure and facilities to take care of certain emergency cases as a country?
Thanks. Doc said that he's a public health specialist, and you know this, that if you go and look at global health systems, and you look at the best health systems, they are the ones where their budget allocations disproportionately favor primary and public health to the advantage of secondary and tertiary and quaternary health. So if you go to Israel, for example, and you know the track record of Israel through this COVID pandemic, their public health and primary health care spending overtook the others in 1991 and has been outstripping. We see it. If you check Hungary, you'd see the same thing since Viktor Orban came. Czech Republic, they were losing their health professionals to Germany when they joined the EU. They did the same thing. The UK's NHS is celebrated for the same thing because of the GP concept of healthcare provision, where everyone has a general practitioner, and you cannot get into secondary or tertiary care before you are referred. Okay. And even in that general practice, you don't get to see a GP routinely. You either see a practice nurse, a pharmacist prescriber, what do you call it, a nurse prescriber, or a paramedic before you go up the ladder. That is how you keep the society healthy. The other thing they do is when everyone hits age 40, you are sent an alert on your phone to say you have to do what we call a health check. It's like taking a car to your mechanic to do a total check to see how it's functioning. So that if there's anything that is lingering that you don't know, because with diseases, they start, especially with the chronic ones, they start long before you see the first symptom. Often with things like hypertension and diabetes, probably the first symptom might be a stroke. And that's too late because you're already in secondary care. So that is what we have to do. And that is what I'm talking about, the middle level carers. We need to look at our primary health care. We need to, for example, decouple our outpatient department from our hospitals. That model is antiquated. That model is an 18th century relic from the UK, which incidentally has decoupled it and has gone to the GP health system. And so these are the things that we need to do. And the minute we do that shift, that is when we would start getting the benefits. The countries I'm telling you who are overtaking us in life expectancy, though ours is going down, go check Rwanda. That's what they are doing. Now, if you go to Rwanda, you can actually see a doctor through what they call through telehealth, your mobile phone. They've got a telehealth system that is taking care of their primary healthcare system. So people are sitting in their house, in their offices, they are going on their phones, putting in their symptoms, they start giving them, oh, this one can be dealt with by a physician assistant, this one can be dealt with by practice nurse, this one you need further care, this one you can go to your pharmacy. We need to start investing in some of these things. Then it would become imperative that these 111 hospitals are built, and then the people go in there, they are seen quickly because the OPD is not congested. The doctors are not under pressure to be seeing what we call ahwashianity per year and all that. Those are dealt with at the periphery. They can deal with the more complicated things, and the quality of care can increase commensurate with the access. So the access question, like I told you, is being answered. The equity question has never been answered by this, and I'm not convinced based on all the conversations we've had. The efficiency question is not answered as well. That's how I'd want to end it.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll leave it here. I mean, listening to you ask ourselves a very simple question. Are these things that we don't know as a country? But, well, we'll leave it here, though. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I would conclude and say, are these things we don't know as a country? We do. Yeah. We've got enough public health specialists. We've got people who worked in the WHO who designed these models. I've got friends who are working in the WHO now. We've got Dr. Samuel Abba, who is now working with government. Yeah. My own friend, Dr. Victor Bampo,
Yeah.
And I can name them, Jude, and I've got lots of friends working.
Yeah.
So the question is that we've got the people who can think these things through.
So why are we not doing it?
We are not thinking nationally, we are thinking politically. And that is why I said the politicians play a game of tag, and I'm not interested.
All right, okay, Doc, thank you very much for your time, and grateful for joining us. I mean, he's mentioned there are lots of doctors, great, brilliant brains who can actually help us turn some of these things around. Dr. Foris and the others at College Teaching Hospital. I'll pick a final straight and we can quickly wrap up on that.
Yes, just to say that
like you said, we are not thinking nationalistic. We are just having
and that is a point I'm making. You realize that all transformations have to do with addressing the health system.
But you be political here too.
Well, let's address the health system challenges. And though the infrastructure is critical, and it is not the only side to be put all our resources on. That has been my point. And so to say that, indeed, we have the doctors and the nurses. The other challenge that needs to be addressed just has to take a bold decision about the distribution. Take the doctors, take the nurses, the healthcare workers, and see where do you find them? In Accra, Kumasi, maybe Takoradi, the big cities. That we can address, maybe by putting some incentives that drive the health workers towards the remote areas. So that is one issue that also has to address as far as human resource concerns, issues are concerned. And then to also say that on this agenda, one thing, I've said that no Ghanaian will say that you don't need a district hospital. But look, let's make our objectives and what we give to the people smart enough for everybody to believe that, oh, what you are talking about is realistic. If you promise that within a year you are going to build 88 hospitals, the year has passed. We haven't even seen a block, a single one. So when you talk about 111 within 18 months, of course, everybody would begin to question, especially when you don't even tell us where you are getting the money from. And lastly, to say that the president also made a promise that, look, I'm going to make every regional hospital a center of excellence. And you see, that's why some of us are very critical. Tell me, name. And I want my colleague to name one regional hospital in this country that, since the pronouncement of the president's promise on this, a regional hospital in this country that you can call a center of excellence, where Ghanaians will say that this hospital, this regional hospital, if you go there, everything is of excellence. Okay. You should name one. So if you haven't fulfilled that, and then you wake up, somebody says, oh, let's take advantage of COVID and build 111 hospitals. And you say, oh, I'm coming to deliver 111 hospitals. That's big talk.
Let me move to...
and we wait to see.
Let me move to you for his final words. Yes, sir.
Okay, so on January 6th, 2017,
yes,
when the outgoing President Mahama
yes,
was launching or even commissioning or inaugurating the University of Ghana Medical Hospital, he said something. He said development is a very huge process. It takes a lot of time. The government came and made a promise that they want to turn it. He said development.
Just let him finish.
Development.
Let him finish. Let him finish. The time is just running out. But first, let's go. Let's hear. Yes.
Development was a painstaking process. That's the word. Development was. I wrote it here. Development was a painstaking process. And so to develop it, because the project, the UG, was started by President Mahama, President Mills, 2012. And then he promised to complete it. He didn't complete it. He knew he was going to leave for 3 days from, I think the next day. So he launched it on the 6th of January, and the 7th of January he was out of power, when the hospital was half completed.
You mean the Legon hospital was not completed by John Durham?
I'm saying it was half completed. That's what I said.
Okay. Let's let him finish our time, though. Yeah.
a lot of investment that is going to regional hospitals.
Okay.
It will take some time for us to get the first class state that we want. It's not a button that you press. Number two, all the concerns that we are reading about healthcare, prevention, and all those things, there's something I'll say.
Yes.
That you ask a fine question, don't we have the money? They say we have. Why are we not doing it? Why are we not doing it? Because if you go to Korebu, they have their own board of directors, they have this, they have that. It's not being run by politicians. The only one politician is the chairman of the board. And so majority of the decisions are taken by professionals. If there are setbacks there, if there are drawbacks there, why do we put it on government? Why don't we ask the professionals around the place?
The recommendation is usually given the green light by government. So the
no, it's not a green light.
We have the professionals who can think of what to do.
Maybe you talk about the money, but they generate a lot of money there.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that, yes, this concerns about the men. Today, if government say, I have money, I want to recruit the doctors. Where are they going to come from? Outside or where? And so the president said we need to invest in medical, continually invest in medical education. We are going to do that. So I don't know what we are saying. The president said we are going to invest in medical education to train more professionals. Okay. And in the interim, we want to set up a volunteer medical corps so that we can attract our own specialists from outside and all those to come in and help. You get it?
Yes.
So there's a program, an agenda to drive more people into the profession, to train more people who will in future man these facilities.
Okay.
But let it be said that the people in the rural communities whose lives are going to be bettered by this project, they are happy to welcome this project to their communities.
Thank you very much. And we're in today's edition of Focus. Grateful for your time. But let's face it, as a country, there are serious issues we need to talk about, especially within our healthcare system. It's sad for someone to move from one region, especially from the northern region to Accra, to get services, not because there's no hospital there, because the kind of healthcare there cannot take care of that person's condition. Geriatric care in this country is so sad and so bad. We can hardly talk about it.